Dang, you know what I was just thinking about? How a lot of women say their mothers were their first bullies, right? I have a lot of stories. I'm gonna tell you a story about how my mom, one time she bullied me. So, let me see which time I'm gonna tell y'all about, because there's so many. I guess I'm gonna just try to run down a couple of them real quick. So, right around the time that I had my first baby, she was really, really young. She was maybe like a couple years old. Well, she was still in a stroller, most definitely, probably just walking. And my mother had convinced me to go out to one of the, I guess, so-called family friends' apartments to celebrate my brother's birthday or something like that, right? So I get there, and nobody has any money. Everybody's like, we're broke. How, they're trying to figure out, my mom's trying to figure out a way to do something for my brother for his birthday. Long story short, she asked me, I'm getting food stamps at the time, mind y'all. And she asked me if I could use the last little bit of my food stamps to go and get my brother a cake for his birthday. And I was like, I shouldn't do that. I don't want to do that because if I spend my stamp money, I ain't going to have no money to eat later on. I mean, who's going to make sure I eat, right? And she was like, no, it's all right. It's all right. I'll make sure you get some food, Jazz. Don't worry about it, right? So I let my mother convince me to get my brother a cake. The following day, after everything, the little gathering or whatever happened, I'm broke. And my mom wants to go to a festival at a park. And it's me, her, I think my little sister, my child, and my uncle's girlfriend. Or ex-girlfriend. I don't know who she was at this point. But, yeah. Uncle's girlfriend is the one who drove. So we all at the park, and we there for a couple hours, and we all hungry. My mom is expressing, I'm hungry. Oh, you want something to eat? I was saying I was hungry first. And then as we walked around the park a little bit more, then she was like, oh, I'm hungry. They go and stop at one of the little trucks or whatever, and they get like like a gyro or something and some wings. I don't know, but they share the food that they got. Everybody's eating but me. And I'm like, well, what about me? I'm hungry. My mom is like, well, what do you want me to do about it? I was flabbergasted. I was like, are you... After you just convinced me, and then I expressed that. I was like, but you just convinced me to get my brother a cake for his birthday just so you can turn around and do this? I'm hungry. I don't have no money. We're at the park festival. You're my ride home. You promised me. She didn't care. She got what she wanted, and she was done with me. And she was like, oh, shit, your fault. You shouldn't have trusted me, basically. Okay, and this one was when I was way younger. I was a kid. And me and my brother, she used to always leave us by ourselves at the house to go party or do whatever she wanted to do, go work, whatever. We would be left at the house by ourselves. We were latchkey kids, right? So my brother always wanted to play fight. He liked wrestling. He always wanted to play fight and whatnot. And sometimes, we would play fight. But when I realized he would just get too rough, I stopped play fighting with him. But then he would still try to play fight with me, right? And then it would turn into a fight for real, because I'd be like, stop. And he doesn't know when to stop, right? So one day, in an attempt to get away from him, all the time I used to go and I used to tell my mom, get away from him, and I'll go tell my mom he punched me in my face, or he did this or he did that, and she would be like, oh, we should have been playing with him. I was like, I shouldn't have been playing with him, but I wasn't playing with him. A lot of times I wouldn't be playing with him, he would start playing with me. And then when I tell her, she would just be like, oh, that's your fault for playing with him, like it's on me, even when I didn't. So I just got tired of going to her because I knew she wasn't going to do nothing, because I went to her the first time and she was like, well, that's your fault. You should be playing. So I bit him. He wanted to play and I kept telling him to stop, and he didn't want to stop. And he got too rough to the point, like, guys, little kid, boys will choke you. They will choke you out, right? And it hurts, but it's like you might not be strong enough to do something for real, but it's like it hurts and you're doing too much. So I bit him. Yeah, I bit him. And then she chased me under the bed with the belt to whoop my ass, but didn't address the fact that he was punching me in my face and blacking my eyes. But anyway, there was another situation like that where I went to her and I told her I thought I would go, if I came to her and I told her in a different way, she would take heed to it and she would do something about it. No, I came to her one time and I was like, I came to her with a letter. I wrote a letter because she wouldn't listen to me when I would try to talk to her. So I figured maybe I can write a letter to get through to her. So I wrote a letter. Y'all. I wrote a letter and she teased me. She went and gathered my brother to sit and read the note out loud to tease me about how I didn't know how to spell. They were particularly laughing at the fact that I said, and he keeps hitting me for no raisin. I spelled it raisin instead of reason. And I was like, no raisin at all. And they were like, oh, she said no raisin at all. And it was a big thing. And it was just so hilarious. I thought it was funny too for a while. But then it was like, you know, it's not really funny. You mocking me. You mocking my pain. You're my whole mother and you're mocking my pain. You're finding pleasure at my expense, at the expense of my suffering. And I'm your child. And I'm your baby child at that. Like, what's this about? Like, why are you Cinderellaing me? Like, who needs a wicked stepmother when you have an actual wicked mother? You know what's also interesting? My brother accused her of selling her soul to the demon Lamashtu. Look up who Lamashtu is. My mother also makes it a point. Her name is Pennywise on TikTok, bro. Her name is Pennywise. I don't know.